You did it. You have a class. Maybe you've worked through my book, Workshops Unleashed, and maybe now you have an objective. You map the content, you priced it with confidence. Your workshop exists. Now it's a package, a gift, if you will. And now it's time for the wrapping paper or inviting people into this exciting experience. And now you're staring at it thinking, okay, how does anyone actually find out about this class? How do they know it exists? And that is today's episode. I'm Tori, and this is the Hey Tori podcast. So welcome back to part 2 of our Workshops Unleashed series. So last episode, we had to kind of set you up for this one. So we talked about the what and the why of teaching. I took you behind the scenes, a sneak peek into my book, and I gave you the basics on how to start designing and getting your class prepared. So today we're getting a little more technical when it comes to the marketing aspect, which is what Hey Tori is all about. So the question we're going to be answering is, once your workshop is built, how do you actually get people into it? This is where I see the most freeze, right? It's not in the designing so much. It's in the marketing. So let's fix that. So during the past 3 book clubs that I've hosted, I hear consistently in some form, okay, my workshop is ready. Do I need to build some big program to get people in it? How many classes do I need to have ready? Or can I just post about it and send some emails and see what happens? So underneath these questions, there's real confusion about how to get the word out about your class. We're always looking at, how do I do this the easiest, most efficient way? And that encompasses what's called scale. So should this be a big structured push, or can it be a simple content launch? Well, today I want to give you both paths. So you can kind of pick the one that fits where you are right now and see which one you want to start with. And honestly, they work together. So I'll kind of map that out for you. So here's what I see a lot. A lot of teachers think they have to choose between doing everything, like building an entire program first, an entire class series, running paid ads, and then posting every day, trying to get all the things done. Or on the other side of that, they do almost nothing. And they hope that their one Instagram post is enough, maybe send a few emails, maybe reach out to a few people. Neither of those are true. So there are a few different ways to get you started, and you can start with either one. So path 1 is what I would consider, and what I wrote about in the book, as the program path. I didn't call it that in the book. I called it just programs. Now, if you have been around a quilt guild, you'll know what a program is. Many quilt guilds also call them lectures or talks, and that's kind of how I designed the programs. But you can use this in a lot of different ways. So this is where you build something designed to reach larger groups at once, usually called a program. So it's getting in front of an audience that someone else has already built. So think Quilt Guild lectures, like I said, or things like the teacher sampler for the Global Quilt Connection, or summits, or even hosting your own online webinars, or pitching yourself to shops and guilds directly. You're borrowing trust and reaching an audience that already exists. And that's in exchange for showing up and teaching well. So in the book, in the program section, actually has frameworks for you to build these out. So that's path 1. The second path is more of and this is where I would say more of the online classes will live. And that's the content and email launch and newsletter path. Now, I truly believe, maybe believe is not strong enough of a word. You have to market online if you want to teach online. So your audience, if you're teaching online, lives online, and you need to be marketing online. If your audience is in person, then you need to be showing up more in person, but you can post online as well to reach those in-person audience members. Like I said in the beginning, you can choose one to start and then they kind of work together. So again, I'll go into that here after I go into a little more detail on the first two. Okay, so the one to many barred audience marketing is medium to high effort, but it does come with a warm audience, a room that's already put together for you. A content launch is more effort up front to build your own list, but it's an asset that you will own forever. So each launch can get easier and easier. So nobody can take your email list away from you. Okay. If you already have guild connections, or maybe you're comfortable being in front of a room, or you just want proof of concept fast. In the last podcast episode, we talked about how you can start teaching like today. And I mean today as in the next couple of weeks, but you can start getting it all done right now. And that can be an email reaching out. That can be getting the book and downloading the framework for the program and start creating your program. Which one of them is a quilter's journey. So anyone can create a program around their own journey in quilting. But anyway, if you are comfortable with being in person and being in front of a crowd, start with the program path. It's often faster to your first paying students because the audience is already there. You already have connections. You can reach out and be like, hey, I am building a lecture or a program and I'd love to present it to our guild and see what they think. Right? So if you're building your audience from scratch, or if you want full control over your pricing, over your calendar, or you're more comfortable with writing than presenting on video or live, start with the content launch and the newsletter path. And again, keep in mind of how you want to show up to teach. Are we showing up in person or are we teaching online? And honestly, again, most teachers eventually use both. So you use the program to get real practice. You get real testimonies fast, and you can reach out to more and more guilds once you start getting in the rhythm of it and you build up a network. You use those to fuel your own content, and then you could do more content launches. So you're not building your email list from zero. It just keeps growing. So you're bringing in new people using webinars, using summits, using in-person classes, using in-person guild presentations, and then you're sharing your workshops with that email list and you keep building it. So that's how they work together. So let's say you're doing the content launch and newsletter path. Inside the Digital Marketing Magic Coaching Program, this is exactly what I've created the Creatives Email Launch Assistant for. We call her CELA, CELA, CELA. So she actually takes the framework from the book and helps you with a 10-day launch plan. Inside that talks about content and email. But again, you don't need CELA. You also have the framework in the book. CELA helps you put it into your words for your workshop. So once you've launched your class, then you move these emails into a series of newsletters. So you can build these out pre-built newsletters, or you can send them out on a consistent basis every week or twice a month. I do suggest doing it at least at least twice a month. But it keeps them warm, keeps you top of mind. They get to see what you're working on, maybe what your next class is. There's all about newsletters in a different episode. And then when you're ready for the next class, you launch again. So now I'd like to tell you about Tanya. So Tanya is going to be a guest in our next episode. I'm really excited to bring her on so she can tell her side of this. But Tanya has taken the program route and she designed her own programs for quilting shows. And she's taken this and she's built a business out of it. And I'm really excited to invite her on to tell you in more detail how she's built that up, how she markets herself, and how she's grown since she took the book club. But here is your Hey Tori takeaway in the meantime. And I want you to go ahead and do this in just a couple of minutes. Don't take more than 20 minutes on this, but pick one of those paths, just one. So if you're leaning towards the program path, write down a few topics that you could go over. One of the things the book does, like I said, is have a program framework. And one of those frameworks is a teacher's journey. So what does your journey look like, and what lessons can you pull from your journey to teach to other quilters? And then what I would do, so maybe write for about 5-10 minutes on that, and then write one email pitching yourself to your local guild or your local shop and see how that feels. Maybe you're ready to reach out right now. If you do need more support, you can grab my book, Workshops Unleashed, or you could do that and join our Workshops Unleashed book club. So one email, 20 minutes, that's the whole assignment. So both of these paths, the program and the content launch, are covered in detail inside Workshops Unleashed. There's extra support within the book club, and there's even more support on the marketing side of things inside the digital marketing coaching program. If you haven't grabbed the book yet, the links are in the show notes. And if you're working through it right now, the free Workshops Unleashed book club walks you through building your own launch plan week by week with real accountability and not just reading alone. But if you would like more support, you can join the Business Intensive, where we will be meeting live and I'll be giving feedback on your marketing plan. If you get to the point where you want ongoing help running these launches, and using tools like CELA, live coaching with me, a full launch strategy built around your calendar and your business needs. That's what the DMMC is here for. So the best first steps is grab the book. The next is join the book club. And then if you're interested in getting more support, you can join me for a free 30-minute strategy session where we go through what your goals are and how I can help. So in the next episode, we're going to close out this series with a guest. Now, I have a few emails out to see if I can get more than one guest. So maybe, fingers crossed, we'll have a few in here to talk about their businesses and have our very first guest on the Hey Tori podcast. I know Tanya will be here next week. So until then, keep creating, keep teaching. I'm Tori McElwain. This is the Hey Tori podcast, and I will talk to you soon.